Yeah, so I've been thinking about this for a while actually, and I can kind of see it going that way, and that is a retro gaming price crash. And some people might think, well, I don't think so, but I can really see it going that way. I mean, when everyone talks about a crash, within gaming, they always talk about it within the sense of it being a current gen crash. Because I think over the last couple of years, I mean, a lot of people have talked about how all the, we didn't have a video games crash here in the UK. I don't think in Europe either. I know in America they had the crash of, was it 82 or 83? And it was really the NES that came in America that kind of turned things around. But over here in the UK, we didn't have that. Gaming just went on as normal, really. Of course, we had the Spectrum and the Commodore 64 and the Amstrad and all these other computers, and I don't know, consoles just didn't really get a look until till the 90s really came around. So yeah, whenever everyone talks about a crash these days, it's really to do with current gen, and a lot of people over the last couple of years have said all the signs are there, and whatnot, and they can kind of see it going that way, but as yet there hasn't been one, and I don't think there is going to be one actually. A lot of people have also said there needs to be one just to give a lot of these developers and especially the publishers a massive kick up the arse. I kind of agree with that. EA, Activision, some publishers really need to kick up the arse really bad, because things are just getting stupid, obviously quick lowdown, on this DLC, day one DLC, in-game transactions, DRM, passcodes, all that just bullshit really. But in terms of retro gaming, it's probably going to sound really weird saying, I think there's going to be a retro gaming crash, but I think there probably might be one, and I'm talking about the prices more than anything, because I'm not sure. I know there's still a lot of people out there that make games for older systems, but it's not like a big massive industry or anything. So when I'm talking about a crash, I mean more about a price crash than anything else. So typically the only thing typically you find that silver and gold are always the things throughout history that have really kept their price, and have always gone up in price. So you can probably, put all your money into getting loads of gold or silver and know that it's pretty much always going to stay at the price you bought it, if not go up in price. And precious metals are really the only thing that have really done that. If you look at loads of other things, like if you look at antiques and various other things, it's always up and down, up and down, up and down. And you gotta expect that with retro gaming as well. As yet, it's gone up and up and up and up, but it hasn't yet gone down. But I can see it going down pretty soon. So over the years, I'd say if you go back to 2004, 5, 6, that was, retro gaming was very, very niche, and it was only 2005, 2006 when, even going into 2007, I think 2007 is when I started getting into playing older systems and realising that, that going back to old systems was fun, and you could go and easily buy loads of retro systems and games really cheap, and you could go online and buy stuff. And it's really from then that it really started to take off. And I'd say over the last 3 years, maybe 4, but especially the last 3, it's just massive. It's like retro everywhere. You got retro shops, you know, you go online and there's just loads of retro sites selling stuff, information, scenes, communities, blah blah blah, you know, it's just gone up and up and up. And that's a really good thing, you know, because it's not niche anymore. I mean, some people still say it's like a niche thing, and I totally disagree. Over the last 3 years, retro gaming as a whole, it's not niche anymore, it's massive. I mean, you've got like a lot of these big companies releasing like their old IP on Xbox Live and PS10 and Steam and blah blah blah, you know. And I suppose retro gaming, the whole scene's had an impact on these companies, putting it on there, and I think it's vice versa. Through a lot of companies putting it on those like platforms, it's had an impact on, you know, a lot of people getting into retro, so it's kind of fed off each other. So yeah, it's gone up and up and up, and I mean, even the editor of Retro Gamer has said numerous times of how niche, you know, retro gaming is, or a certain subject within retro gaming is niche, but it's not niche anymore. It just isn't. It is a massive scene now. It's a massive thing, and you only have to just look online and you can see how big it is. It's just not niche anymore. So yeah, the prices, obviously, I mean, pretty much everyone probably knows, even if you've only been into retro gaming for the past couple of years, you've got to have noticed that the price has gone up and up and up and up. I wouldn't say it's massively leapt up, like from being, I don't know, at the bottom to the top, like, you know, in a day. But over the years, it's slowly got a bit higher and higher and higher. And it doesn't matter what system or what game or format, it's just that, you know, all systems, all games have suffered that kind of increase over the years. And I suppose you should expect that really with the, you know, with the popularity and you know, just how big retro games got. I mean, it's to be expected really. But something I've noticed over the last probably year and a half is that there's been so many people that have just got so fed up with collecting that they've just got rid. They've just, you know, suddenly come to the realization that, you know, what am I doing, and just sold everything. Or I'll just keep on seeing that time and again, you know, collectors that you wouldn't even think would ever get rid of anything, just suddenly go, you know, I woke up one morning and I just thought, what is the point? And just, if not got rid of all their stuff, they've got rid of pretty much everything that didn't mean anything to them, and just, you know, stuck to one or two systems that means a lot to them. I mean, the most recent person is SNES said that he woke up one morning and just looked at all of his stuff and just thought, what is the point? I just can't be arsed anymore. It's just getting stupid, out of hand. I'm pissed off with it. And he just got rid of everything that just didn't mean anything to him, and just kept the few systems that really, you know, that really meant something to him. But I keep seeing that over the last year and a half. I keep seeing that time and time again. You know, a lot of people that have had these big collections, bit of collector stuff, you know, just gone after everything, anything and everything, and had no rhyme or reason to collecting. Or even if they did, you know, they've just got a massive collection, they've just thought, stuff this on, can't do it anymore, just get rid of everything basically. And this obviously relates to the crash in that with more people, you know, getting rid of their collections, there's more of, you know, specific games being put online for sale. So all those rare games and what are considered really expensive games, there's an increase in the amount of those games online for sale as compared to, you know, say a year or more ago, where there was considerably less or maybe even none. And obviously with the increased amount of those types of games online, they've become less rare and head towards the more common end of the scale. And with an increase of the number of those types of games online, then obviously that should drive down the price, or at least I'd expect it to drive down the prices. And yeah, they just become, I mean, you get people putting stuff online and people are naturally drawn towards trying to get the cheapest stuff. I mean, that's just a natural instinct. So I'd expect to see people putting stuff online and trying to put stuff up cheaper so they can sell it, and that would drive down the price, and then people go for the cheapest stuff, and it all works towards driving down the prices. But like I said, with more people offloading the stuff that they don't want or just getting rid of everything, it just floods the places where you can buy this stuff, and with the increased amount of, you know, items, it should drive the price down. To tie in with that, I've been looking on eBay recently, and I've noticed this every time I've kind of jumped into eBay and had a look at stuff. I'm starting to see quite an increase of rare and what would be considered the really expensive games. I'm starting to see an increase of those games flooding eBay. Like recently I checked out the Dreamcast games. I haven't checked the Dreamcast games out for, I think it was before Christmas, and yeah, but recently I've just checked them out, I think it was last week, and just the amount of games on there now that you just couldn't get like a year ago is just phenomenal. You've got a lot of the shmups that you just couldn't get a year ago or more. You just couldn't get them. When they did pop up, you'd get the odd one popping up obviously, then obviously they would go for their really expensive prices, but you'd only see the odd one. Now there's just loads. There's also loads of other games on there, like top quality, you know, some of the top like Dreamcast games, and it just seems to be quite a lot on there, whereas it go back to a year ago, there seemed to be considerably far less. And I just see that, obviously at the moment I haven't noticed that the prices are cheap, and I don't think they are cheap. I think they're just being sold for what they're being sold for. But I think the more these kind of games get put on eBay and the bigger in quantity they keep going on there, I see that it's driving down the price. And what happens is, the more people put these on, I wouldn't say, I suppose you could say people just put it on and just keep the prices there, but obviously over here in the UK we've had a price increase with the Royal Mail. It's getting more expensive to send stuff through the post. Plus you've got eBay fees, PayPal fees, and it's just getting silly now. And I just think even with all that, the amount of people trying to sell stuff on there, it would rather than all that putting people off, people are still putting stuff on there, and that could only drive down the price. I've noticed this dipping in and out of eBay as well on other formats, like seeing a lot of games that weren't on there several years ago, and I see that as driving down the price as well. Now you could argue that it's just that people are becoming aware of these games, and obviously with the retro scene getting bigger, you know, it's obviously opening more people up to thinking, hey, I've got that game, I'll put it on eBay and make a load of money. Granted, there is that, but I just feel that people are getting kind of retro overloaded. People are just getting kind of annoyed with the out of control collecting of buying this, that and everything, and wanting to be more focused, and people just putting their collections on eBay. And I just see that as just, you know, just bringing down the price really. And I just see that with the prices continually have gone up over the years, I'm seeing it as hitting like I just see it as hitting a brick wall and dipping down, if you know what I mean. You know, what goes up must come down eventually, and like I said, raw precious metals are really the only thing that's ever kept their prices. If you look at anything and everything, it's always, you know, varied. And with retro gaming prices going up and up and up, they've got to come down at some point. And I see this as kind of that point where things might start to come down in price. I mean, if you've got, you know, 20 Resident Evil 2s on eBay, and people might start trying to put it on there cheaper just to sell the stuff. I mean, I don't know, it might be that the economy is really biting and people are just putting more of these really expensive games that they know they can make the money on or get their money back, and putting them on eBay just to get some money. It might be the economy, but with so many people just getting that thing where they've just had enough, and I just see people having a bit of a retro overload. They're just getting a bit fed up with the out of controlness of their buying habits, that they're just being more controlled and selling all the stuff off that they don't want. And yeah, I can see a kind of retro price crash looming, and to be honest with you, I don't see that as a bad thing. You know, I don't think it's a bad thing that prices should come down, because, you know, they'll come down and they'll eventually start to go back up again, because that's just the way things are. And yeah, I don't see it as a bad thing if prices all of a sudden just bottomed out. That might be a good thing, you know. It could be as well. There's this is another thing I just want to mention. Resellers have kind of come to be quite prominent on eBay, because they know they can put these games on there at really high prices and people will just get annoyed and eventually buy them. So what these resellers do is they just go after certain games and they just buy all the games that pop up on eBay, and what they do is once they get them, they deny other people the chance of getting these games. And what they do is once they get all these games in, they put them back on eBay at a silly, you know, high price. So it's basically denying people getting these games for a lower price, so they can get a hold of all the copies and put them back on eBay at a high price, so they can make a lot of money. And I've seen that has become a thing on eBay that's over the last year and a half, I'd say, or maybe in 2 years. It's just it started to become the norm, and it's annoying, but it's there, and yeah, it's happening basically. I mean, that could be what's why this. Well, that could be part of the reason why there's so many, you know, games on there, especially at the prices that they're on there at. It could just be loads of resellers, but I don't know, guys. I'd like to know what other people think. Like I said, to be honest, I wouldn't mind the whole thing, the whole prices and everything just bottoming out. I think it might do a bit of good.